Hi guys, this is Bo. I'm very excited to have in my hand the HORI Street Fighter 2 Fighting Stick Mini, and I actually was very curious about how big this thing is because it says it's mini, which means it's smaller than the full-size Pro Fighting Stick that costs $200 or more, depending on where you get them. And the reason why they cost so much is, first of all, these fighting sticks are huge. Nobody buys them, and it's for a very select few individual who enjoy joysticks. Anyway, I'm gonna open this up and we'll take a look at it. I mostly got this because I wanted to use it for my Raspberry Pi, and also I have a Nintendo Switch, so I should be able to use it on both system. It is wired, so you do need a USB connector. All right, so seeing it out of the box here, it comes with the instructions and just standard stuff that you will find on any good product. Anyway, some instruction and stuff. It does come with the wire, as I mentioned. It is not wireless, so in case you were hoping to play it straight out of the Nintendo Switch. Since it's wired, you would need an adapter. Look at that. That's the joystick right there. Yeah, it comes plastic and anyway. So yeah, you'll need a dock for your Nintendo Switch, or if you have a adapter, a USB or a USB-C adapter, you can use it with it. Oh, here it is. This is beautiful. It's red and it has the artwork and it's clicky, and the button is kind of like a oval. I don't really love that. Anyway, my hand, as you can see, fits over it. Um, I mean, I don't have massive hand, but I don't have tiny hands. I think it's pretty good. I think it works for me. I think your mileage may differ though, because some people complain it's too small. Okay, so yeah, it's just a USB 2, USB C. Yeah, USB 2. I don't think it's USB 3 at all. So yeah, we'll take a look at see how well it does with the Nintendo Switch or Raspberry Pi in a little bit. But I also wanted to mention, wow, the wire is actually pretty long. So yeah, you can probably sit this on a couch with your TV. Feels pretty light, and yeah, there's the HORI brand there. It's these, I believe, are limited edition, so don't take my word for it. But I don't think they'll make too many of these. So if you want one, I think you should get it. I tried searching online on YouTube for reviews of these fighting sticks, and nobody has them. So I don't even know how it's gonna handle. But so far, I love the stick, the clickiness. You can't hear because I'm re-recording the audio to because my mic on my camera is not very good. Anyway, so the buttons. Yeah, I think I would like the button to be a little concave inside, but otherwise it should be fine when once I get it up and running. So if you're thinking about buying one of these, they cost about $60, which is, I think, reasonable because a regular controller, a Joy-Con, for example, costs $79, although that's wireless. But I mean, $60 not bad. A full size Joy fighting stick, like made by Razer, for example, costs nearly $200, which is way too much money for anybody to really spend. Okay, so here is the HORI Fighting Stick hooked up to Nintendo Switch via a USB-C adapter. You can also use it on your Nintendo Switch dock if you use it on your TV, which the dock will have a USB out so that you can hook up a controller to it, which includes this a joystick. And anyway, so using the joystick, we're gonna test out Street Fighter 2, and yeah, so it works as you would expect it to work. With the typical Street Fighter 2 layout, you have 6 buttons, 3 punches, 3 kicks. But there are an additional set of extra button, an extra L and the R, which I guess is the right shoulder and the left shoulder, on the far right, which is kind of weird because I'm not used to playing with these extra button, this particular layout. Well, anyway, but yeah, the only thing I will mention is that this fighting stick will not work on any game that requires the right analog button, because obviously the fighting stick the joystick only has basically the left joystick or analog. So basically, any 3D game, you're gonna have a hard time playing it. Which, when I say 3D game, doesn't necessarily mean 3D, but any game that requires the right analog stick, including, say, Titan Quest, which will not work with this joystick. But that is, that's the nature of these joysticks. The joysticks, you have to remember, is from the arcade days, where there was no such thing as 3D and a right analog. All right, so here we are with the Final Fight game. This is also made by Capcom, so this is another classic arcade game that you can use with your joystick. Once again, these joysticks were never meant for modern games, so any games that requires 3D or the right analog stick won't work, and so these old school arcade games will work wonders. You'll have a fun time using it with the joystick, and it works because it's not a very complicated game. You just have your movement and your kicks and your jumps and your special move if you mash the 2 buttons together, I think. So yeah, it's games like this or Golden Axe or any of those classic arcade games will work wonders. And like I said, more modern games you can't take advantage of it because this joystick won't work with those games. But yeah, it's if you enjoy these games, it's having a joystick is actually the way to play, in my opinion. Anyway, I don't know what else I can add. If you like joystick, you know what I'm talking about. This is how you play these games. I think when I hook this up to the Raspberry Pi, I'm going to have a much better time with it, because a lot of those retro Pi games are, or at least the one I am interested in playing, are MAME, which is arcade. Okay, guys, so we are in the Raspberry Pi 4 running Dasmaso's Nostalgia Pi, 1 million game collection or whatever. There's over 7,000 games. We're using the joystick, or the HORI Fighting Stick Mini on it, and it's great. I love these the way it moves. I think I'm gonna have a really good time playing some of these classic arcade games with my joystick. Which includes like shooting games and that kind of thing. I think it's gonna be pretty fun. And I found there's an easier way of jumping to things. So first off, we're gonna try the classic Galaga. So we're gonna go to G. Oh, actually, I'm in Virtual Boy right now, so I'm gonna hang on a second. Okay, all games, and then we'll do the same thing again. Go to G, and we'll scroll down to Galaga, and there's different version of it. There's Galaga 88, which is the sequel. The arcade version of Galaga 88, the Galaga 90, and then the arcade version of Galaga, and that's the one we're gonna play, and um, I'm gonna have to warn you. This is you know, I used to be really good at this game, but I don't know how rusty I am now. All right, with any of these ROM rips, they do display these kind of funky message. So just ignore it for a bit, and then it's gonna run correctly in a few minutes. So yeah, this is Galaga. Because it's a vertical game, the screen has been stretched smaller, but you do see the side art of the bugs and stuff. So that's kind of cool. So it can take advantage of the whole screen versus just the tiny vertical screen, and you know, and I love it that it has the Galaga art on the side, so that it's not some generic art. So while you're playing. But yeah, here is yeah. I mean, this is with the joystick and just I guess just the fire. You know, Galaga only has one button, so basically you just have the fire button and then the joystick to move back and forth. And but yeah, it plays pretty well on my HORI Fighting Stick. So it's turning out to be well worth the $60 I spent on the fighting stick, the joystick. So yeah.